Welcome to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Cataclysm Crew Issue 2, Blockbuster. On the cover, a wide shot of the movie theater lobby shows Rascal King, Etheril, Machina, and Squire surrounded by hordes of face eaters which attack them from hanging film strips. High above them, in the projection booth, a silhouetted figure stands, watching the chaos with glowing white eyes. We turn the page, and our story begins. Max, you're laying on your back, and this girl is staring into your soul. As her eyes make eye contact with you, you start seeing essentially a movie of all your worst fears in your mind. It's almost like she's projecting a film of your worst fears into your brain. And I'm going to say go ahead and mark a condition for that.
I am going to mark afraid. I think that makes the most sense.
I would think that makes the most sense. And while you're paralyzed with fear, Amber, what do you do?
Now that the power is shut down, she's going to turn around to see if that did any good. So she probably turns around in time to see Max getting pushed down and the soul searching happening.
Absolutely.
I guess maybe not like totally assessing, but is there anything like immediate that shows that like anything happened with the breakers, or is kind of like the main focus? Like, from her field of vision, can she see any effects from the breakers?
Yeah. The last window you ran past, right in front of the projection screen, was a pterodactyl-looking thing, probably from the adventure movie, but you wouldn't really know. You haven't seen it yet. And the pterodactyl-looking thing is moving strangely now. It's not acting like you think it probably did in the movie.
Still there.
It's still there, but it's acting weird.
It's still under the effect of ecstasy.
It might be.
Okay.
Shit.
Then she's going to prioritize helping out Max.
I like that plan.
Great. So the movie girl is pretty focused on Max right now. So what do you want to do?
Gonna fucking rush at her.
Great. That's probably directly engaging a threat. Why don't you go ahead and roll plus danger again? Great. So that's a miss unless someone can add a team to that.
I would like to help.
How would you like to help?
How cognizant am I right now?
You can probably hear things around you. Your eyes you're not seeing anything, but you can probably hear her rushing towards you. And it might be someone else rushing towards you, but likely based on the direction, you probably assume that it's Machina.
Okay. And what does movie girl's face look like right now?
Her mouth is open. That horror movie soundtrack is still coming out of it. Her eyes are glowing white, and you can actually see like what looks like a projector, like the film, like spinning in her eyes. And she's just kind of like gaped mouth open, kind of staring at you.
Okay, so I'm trying to throw her off in any way I can to create a bit of an opportunity here.
Great.
So I am going to not throw her off physically. I mean, like throw her focus off. So I'm going to arch my face forward towards her face and plant a kiss right on her mouth.
Great.
And I'd like to spin a team.
She's definitely a little surprised. Her eyes actually blink, and the movie breaks. The movie breaks.
I have a new girlfriend, Rascal.
Just as Machina's fist. Are you punching her? Are you kicking her? What are you doing, Machina?
I'm just trying to like push her, just like trying to like break this eye contact.
Great. So Max, it's almost like a movie. The soundtrack actually changes to this like romance right as you get up close.
Excellent.
Your lips meet hers, and then she gets shoved off of you and knocked to the side. And she kind of goes like flying. It's a pretty dramatic moment. And but now she's
What's the
no longer
soundtrack
staring
now?
into your soul. It now sounds like the like moment in an adventure movie where the hero has been knocked down but is getting back up, and it's like that determined like powerful music. So she's getting back up, but she's down for right now.
Okay, so would you consider that kissing someone dangerous?
Oh, absolutely I would.
I'm going to cross off that drive, and I would like to take influence over someone involved. I'd like to take influence over movie girl.
Great.
Okay.
Now that she's on the ground and her eyes are closed, Amber, you probably recognize her. She looks like a girl that you went to high school with, or like freshman year high school with, maybe. She's been missing for about a year. She actually was on the robotics team with you.
Oh, damn.
The last time we remember seeing her, at least, she was building this like 4-dimensional camera that she'd invented, like taking holograms to the next level. She was really, really brilliant electronically. But
She
then,
comes on my planet.
when she was getting really close, she went missing. What was her name?
Ali Vieira. You just called her AV for short.
Is that what her name was, Amber?
Sure.
All right, Ali Vieira. Definitely at least looks like Ali, who, if you remember, was a bit of a film geek. She was trying to make this camera and this like shooting this like really interesting new film to get a scholarship into Moon Harbor Prep. And most people just assume that she got in, but no one's heard from her in about a year. So now there's Ali laying on the ground. What do you do?
Is Ollie like conscious?
She's slowly getting up. Yeah, Ali is slowly getting up.
Okay. Then I'm gonna just gonna talk to her and be like, Allie? Is that you?
She turns and like her nose is definitely bleeding from where you punched her across the face, or probably where her nose hit the carpet when you shoved her away from the man she was just kissing. And for a moment, her eyes blink human, and she starts to form what looks like it's going to be the word Amber. And then it kind of clicks. It's almost like a switch is flicked. And then her eyes are the glowing white again, and her mouth just emits the soundtrack again.
You know her? Wait, do I know her?
Yeah, she was on my robotics team, like freshman year.
Max, you probably met her. Like you probably would have like recognized her, but until they said her name, until Amber said her name, you probably wouldn't have put the two and two together.
Okay.
How come all the supervillains get the cool powers?
Speaking of cool powers, we're gonna go to Etheril, and the clown, the 7-foot-tall clown, has just stepped out through the doors. The people around you are just like giggling and like giddily kind of like wandering back and forth, and this clown is staring you down. It bares its teeth and like clenches its fists, clenches its claws, and then it launches towards you. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna pull out my Kirby craft and jump in that and boost myself away.
Fantastic. Are you going up? Are you going back? Are you going to the side? Which direction are you going with the Kirby craft?
I'm going diagonally up to the left.
Great. So you're launching like towards the movie theater, but like above its head.
Yep.
Great. You launch over it, and it just keeps running, and it grabs hold of one of the people, probably about a like 19, 20-year-old guy, likely the stoner from before that you don't know. You haven't met the stoner yet, but the stoner that Amber got out of there earlier, the clown just grabs him by the back of the neck and lifts him up in the air. It looks like he's probably about to bite down and like rip this person in half. What do you do?
Oh my god, more eating faces.
It's a good theory. I mean, come on. They made like, what, 5 movies out of it? I'm going to use my Kirby craft and ram into him.
Great, let's call that directly engaging a threat. We'll call that plus danger.
I got a 5.
You do manage to stop it from biting the person in half. The way you do that is by knocking the person out of the monster's hands, and the person just goes flying into the fountain.
Awesome.
The fountain.
I'm a doctor. I could heal that.
That's true. The fountain breaks and water starts spraying everywhere, and all the people just start like dancing in the rain.
Even my fuck ups make everything better. I just don't understand.
And the monster does. How big is your Kirby craft when it like expands?
Well, it depends on who it told, and right now it's kind of fits one person.
So kind of like a personal pod, like a.
Yeah, it can expand to be bigger, but at a moment's notice, I only made it big enough for me.
So like Space Vespa size.
Yep.
I was thinking like the size of like a seat on a roller coaster.
Yeah, something like that.
It's definitely small enough that this monster, which is pretty strong, can knock you out of the air. It's going to knock you to the ground as you knock the guy free. Make sure you mark potential, and I'm going to have you take a powerful blow on that. All right, so on a 7 to 9, you choose one.
I'm going to struggle past the pain and mark 2 conditions, and I'm going to take insecure and angry.
Perfect. That makes a lot of sense to me. So the Kirby craft kind of like bounces off the ground and rolls but you manage to land upright. You look as it starts to move towards you. And we're going to go back over to Max and Amber. Allie's eyes have just turned back to the glowing white, and the music has started up again, and she is almost to her feet. Max, what do you do?
Okay, so this is a hard one to represent in the narrative, but I'm trying to pierce her mask. I'm going to take a moment and kind of just look her over and try to figure out what's really going on.
Great, I'll let you do that.
Ooh, you finally got a good one.
Yeah!
Great, on a 9, ask 1.
I already know how I could gain influence.
Oh, also, you have a +1 to that roll because you're piercing her mask and you have influence.
Oh, so I have a 10.
That's a 10, so you could ask 3.
Okay, so I'm going to start with what do you intend to do?
Her immediate goal is to bring movies to life. And you can kind of see in her eyes, very quickly as you make eye contact with her, you get this like really tortured moment where you see the past year that she's been missing, where she kind of lived in a nightmare hellish world of all the movies she'd ever seen kind of mixed together in her mind. And then she reawoke in Moon Harbor and can't handle reality. So she's trying to make reality more like a movie.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
In the moment where you saw her human eyes, what she wanted you to do was knock her out and save her. Sorry,
Okay, let me sit on that for a moment.
Okay. You have one more if you want to use it whenever you want to use it.
Okay, cool.
While you're doing that, Amber, what do you want to do?
I think when her projection eyes flick back on, I'm gonna instinctually punch her.
Cool. We'll call that directly engaging a threat again. Go ahead and directly engage. That is very much a hit. Go ahead and pick 2.
I want to throw myself in front of that.
Oh, you want to have that?
Jesus.
Yeah, I want to try to defend Allie.
Great, go ahead.
It's a +3 because I have influence
Oh.
over
Close.
Allie.
All
So
right.
on a
So
PC
I'll say-
threat, give them -2 to their roll.
And I'm going to say that with the great roll that you just got, plus we'll say Squire's back in the room now, I'm going to move executive order that down to a 7 to 9. We'll say that got moved down to a 9 for that. You can pick one of the list. So you're going to punch her and then do one thing off the list.
I'm gonna try to take something from them. I'm trying to get the projection eyes to stop doing that.
Are you trying to take the eyes?
Not to take the eyes, but like the last time that I physically hurt her, the eyes went out for a second. So I'm trying to take that again.
Okay, you're trying to take the consciousness or trying to take the power away.
Yeah.
I'll let that happen. Cool. So I'm going to say you land the punch, and she goes falling, and she's unconscious. She hits the ground hard, and her eyes kind of blink as she goes down, but they are human as they fall. And then Rascal King took a half a second too long to launch at you, to stop you, so you punch Allie pretty hard, and then Max just slams into you, and you hit the wall. I'm going to have you take a powerful blow for that.
Okay. 9.
All right, on a 7 to 9, you choose 1. All right, while you're looking at that, and we'll be back to you in a second, I'm going to switch over to Etheril. Etheril, so you've just hit the ground, kind of bounce, you're upright, and the clown is rushing straight at you again.
I'm gonna go intangible.
I'm going to say you don't have to unleash your powers for that. You go intangible, but your Kirby Craft does not. So it goes to swipe at you, you're not there, and it trips over your Kirby Craft and is going to slam into the ground on the other side. What are you going to do?
I think I'm gonna boost my own adrenaline and inject it with ecstasy.
Okay. That I will call unleashing your powers.
I got a 9.
You can either mark a condition
I gotta
or
mark a
I will tell you
condition.
how it's unstable. You inject it and it also gets like this like dopey-eyed grin on its face. As you inject it, you notice that where you injected it, it almost looks like it's starting to like fracture. Like the body of the clown is starting to crack. Almost like you stabbed into like a clump of dirt. And the way like a clump of dirt would start to like flake and break in that capacity. And while you're looking at that, looking at it breaking, let's go back to Amber. Amber, what's happening?
I'm going to lash out verbally, provoking a teammate to foolhardy action. Max, what the fuck? We're trying to stop this.
She needs our word help, not our fist help.
Before you have a chance to react, behind the wall, coming up the side of the wall, which we don't see, but it reaches around the corner, Squire reaches her hand around and like grabs Amber by the hair and like yanks it back. It's not enough to hurt, but Squire doesn't like when people yell at Max. So,
Aw.
like, Squire, like, yanks your hair back. And then Squire's gonna climb up and, like, glare at you and sit on Max's head. Max, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna walk over to Allie. Is she completely knocked out?
Yeah, she's down.
I'm gonna like kneel down next to her and like check her vitals, make sure she's okay. Like we should maybe find someone to take care of her before she wakes back up.
Yeah, I have no idea what she needs. I haven't seen anything like this before. I mean, like, I would normally say the hospital, but I don't think we have the greatest reputation there anymore.
Yeah.
All
Do
right.
we know anyone at Saber?
Yeah, you know someone at Saber. Missing Links and Boost work for Saber.
Oh, no.
So you know someone there, and I don't know how you managed it, but you do have Missing Links' cell phone number. Not her superhero number, but her personal number.
Oh, okay. I'm so reticent to do this, but I pull out my phone and we get a panel of me with this like big frown on my face and then typing a message to Missing Links that says, "Okay, I think I need your help."
The panel after that is Amber just, like, face palming herself.
Squire's also doing the same thing. And with that, we're going to shift back to Etheril. Etheril, you've just injected the clown with this ecstasy, and as you pull the needle out, the clown kind of collapses underneath you into a similar fog
Just
of
like all my
dust.
other boyfriends. Damn.
The crowd is still like wandering around goofily around you. What do you want to do?
I guess I'm gonna go in and try and figure out what the hell those two were up to, because it's been a while and there was a clown running around. And normally when crazy shit happens like that, normally they're kind of in the fray of it. So I'm kind of curious. Now I'm a little bit interested in what they're doing. So I'm gonna go in and inspect what they're doing.
Great. Machina and Rascal King, are you like going downstairs? Are you hanging upstairs? What's your plan?
I think we're still up there because, like, we have an unconscious Allie.
Yeah.
Cool. Etheril, are you going upstairs where you saw them head earlier?
Yeah, I guess it's the only logical explanation.
All right.
Can I have a panel there where I just kind of like look out over the frankly wrecked theaters, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with Lynx. They're gonna tell me I shouldn't be here, and I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm gonna look out over this.
As you do, you're looking out at the theater where the adventure movie was playing, where Barnaby Smith and the Kingdom of the Face Eaters was. And as you do, as you're looking forlornly across, you see this like pterodactyl just like fly up and crash through the ceiling out through the roof. And like now there's just like a single beam of moonlight shining in, and it hits your face, kind of forlornly.
I think I triggered a team move as well when I share a vulnerability or weakness with someone. When you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, ask them to confirm or deny that you should be.
I mean, she's gonna treat you like shit no matter what, but I think you deserve.
So if they confirm it, mark potential and give them influence over. Do you have influence over me again?
I'm gonna shift up Savior. I'm gonna shift down Mundane.
Okay, cool. I'll accept that.
And just as that happens, just as the moonbeam like streams in and hits Rascal King's face, on the ground, as you're looking down, by the way, Rascal King, the Face Eaters have started attacking one another now that they don't have other faces to eat. They're eating each other's faces, and they're just crumbling to dust in each other's hands. As you're watching these things happen, I imagine, Amber, have you gone over to stand with him?
She's kind of still up against the wall, kind of like watching, but also sometimes glancing back to check on Ollie.
Great. As you're doing that, Etheril comes up the stairs. Etheril, you walk up and you see an unconscious girl laying on the ground with a little bit of blood coming out of her nose. She's a little down. Max is staring out this like open area with a moonbeam just like lighting his face. Squire is sitting in a similar position on a bench on a stool next to him. There's no moonbeam hitting his face, but her face, but there might as well be. And Amber's leaning against a wall. What do you do?
Been three of you having this friggin' powwow where you guys are basically having your little love triangle, and I've been dealing with a frickin' 7-foot killer clown outside. And look at this fucking place. I told you this place was a slum, and now it has literally became a freaking slum. You literally brought a slum further down the shithole than it already was.
It may be a shithole, but it's our shithole, damn it.
I'm gonna say that felt like Etheril was trying to shift your labels for both of you. It kind of felt like we were shifting mundane up and superior down.
Yeah, I'm gonna reject.
Great.
No.
You guys too.
Those labels feel right. It feels like you're like feeling a little bit like less super, a little bit more like a dumb human, and you do mark a condition on that.
Okay. Superior is -1, mundane is -1. Which condition?
How does Max feel about this?
I am
Sounds
also
like he's
going
just-
to reject it.
I'm gonna mark insecure.
Great, Max, you got a 7. So on that,
I'm going to shift a label up and a label down, my choice.
great. What do you shift up and down? Your choice.
My mundane down and my superior up.
Great.
I took a very different message out of those words.
Fantastic. At the moment, as you all are talking, and like your words are hitting each other hard, you hear a whirring of a helicopter, and then loudly from the lobby, you hear a voice call, "All right, where the hell are you all?" Max, you probably recognize that voice. It sounds like Missing Links.
Yeah, I'm going to turn to Machina and Etheril and be like, you guys can handle it from here, right? And I'm starting to like step out the little projection window.
Yeah, sure. You're just gonna have to owe me big. Do you want to really owe a debt to me?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I'm going to try to slip out with Squire.
I'm going to say that, Max, if you want to leave, you can leave. It's not as easy a drop at the projection window as you imagine. It's a bit of a climb, and there's also going to be about a 6-foot drop at that point. But you could probably make it work.
Yeah, I'm pretty acrobatic.
That's true. All right. So you, and I assume Squire is going with you.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So you and Squire step out. And
Squire doesn't like the way Sass looks at
Sass actually comes up the stairs first. So who's closer to the stairs right now?
I'm probably the closest since I
Yeah.
just came up the stairs recently.
Great. You hear a snarling at your heels, and you turn and you see a lynx. The lynx literally looks disappointed and like shakes her feline ears at you. And then you see coming up from behind Missing Lynx. Missing Lynx is about 5'6". She's very, very muscular.
Ooh, nice.
She's fucking strong. And she wears fur-lined boots. And she's got a hat that vaguely looks like Lynx ears. So like the pointed ear look. And she wears a mask that covers most of her face that's vaguely feline and also has whiskers on it.
Can I say something sassy about her looks?
If you want to. She stepped up and she does not look pleased.
Wow, you really do look like a missing link.
She looks at you and she says, "Sit down, idiot." And she's shifting your label. She's shifting mundane up and superior down. You can reject it if you want. You can roll to reject it.
7.
On a 7 or 9, you choose 1.
Oh, then I'll take +1 forward against her.
She walks past and she goes up to Machina and she says, "So, what happened?"
Is Ollie still unconscious?
Yeah, Allie's still down.
Cool. So the movies were coming to life. And I guess to make it a long story short, we eventually found our way up here and found Ollie here. Allie. She had like projector eyes. She was like movie soundtracks were coming out of her mouth. She was definitely controlling it. We just don't know what's up, and I knocked her out. We just want to make sure that she's okay.
This is the projector girl. She points at Allie on the ground.
Yeah. Her name's Allie.
She gestures over to Sass, who runs down the stairs, and then a moment later it's followed up by a bunch of kind of just generic mutant-looking people. Some have like lizard skin, some have fur. They look like just general kind of bodyguards, employees of Saber, and they are all wearing the Saber crest on their shirt. They go over and they, rather gently, even though they are pretty brute-looking, pick Allie up and take her out. And as they leave, Missing Links turns to you and she says, "Why did you all think you were strong enough to handle this? Why do you kids get involved at all? You're just children."
You weren't here, And I don't trust that you would have treated her well enough after this.
There's a public saber line that you could have called. You can easily get in contact with us at any point. You know, it's the same way you call 911 when there's something out of your
911.
control. She's gonna, specifically Amber, she's gonna be shifting your labels.
I'm rejecting that.
Great. She's shifting mundane up, and she's shifting.
I got a
Excuse me.
7.
Great.
I'm going to clear my insecure condition to like stand up from being against the wall to tell her, yes, we could have called or we could have done something, which we did. We stopped it.
She almost looks impressed for a minute. Like there's like half a smile that crosses her face, and then she goes, "Well, don't do it again." And she turns abruptly on her heels and walks out. Sass gives you a look, both of you, like this like judgmental cat look, and then follows her out.
Can Amber like try to stop them before they leave? Just to
Yeah.
kind of get one
Go
last
ahead.
quick thing. Let me know how she is. We know her.
She turns back and her eyes are a little bit softer, and she says, "You'll hear from us," and then she leaves. If you all are heading out elsewhere, where would you go? Are you guys going home? Are you guys going to somewhere specific? Where would you head at this point?
Want to go get some ice cream?
I kind of want to go find Max.
But ice cream sounds so much better.
Max is likely hanging out in a nearby alley, just kind of keeping an eye out.
Why don't we go out and see where see if we can see Max / a nearby ice cream place?
All right, so you two step outside. There's an ice cream place like right across the as you walk over to the ice cream place, you notice the line at the ice cream place is really, really long. It seems like everyone in line is like sort of intoxicated, like maybe they're a little bit high, and they're all ordering like massive bowls of ice cream to the point that if you waited in line that long, they probably would be out of them. But before we get to you all in line or not in line, we're going to switch to Max. Max, you're in a nearby alley, you said?
Yeah.
As you're hanging out there, behind you, you hear a crash on like the dumpster, and you turn, and Lynx is right there.
Of course you are.
Sass is right there, but Lynx follows quickly behind. Sass kind of like snarls, grimaces, frowns, generally disapproves in the direction of Squire, and Lynx walks towards you, and she says, "For the fact that you all shouldn't have been doing that, you actually didn't do a terrible job today.
Yeah, I mean, it's because we're heroes. We can do this.
You're not heroes, but you're fine."
We get a panel where Max like opens his mouth to protest, and then just kind of goes quiet. So, is she gonna be okay?
Yeah, she'll be fine. Hey, next time, can you not text my cell phone? Here. And then she hands you a business card that has her communicator number on it. And she's like, "I don't want to hear from you unless it's an absolute emergency, but erase my number."
We get a panel with him, with Max adding the number to his phone, clearly as like the home number, where the main number is still the cell phone number.
Fantastic. And then she walks away. She stops, and her shadow is like cast pretty long down the alley. There's like a street light in front of her, and you get a pretty long shadow. And the last panel we see of this scene is Lynx's shadow kind of like spreading out around Max and kind of covering Max up. So Max is just engulfed in Lynx's shadow. And then we switch back over to the plaza.
You know, this line is pretty damn long. I say we just take out my emergency craft and fly north to the northern part of the city.
I hate the north side of town. No.
We could go to the east side. Choose a side. There's ice cream parlors literally all over the freaking place. But this place is too crowded, and we gets to go.
Okay, then if we're gonna go, we need to go get Max.
I mean, we can leave Max and just take Squire.
Well, to find Squire, we need to find Max.
Max, were you in the plaza? Have you made it back to the plaza yet? Or were you...
Yeah, I think like at that, like, and we need to find Squire. We need to find Max. We get Max and then Squire poking out of the crowd. Hey,
Speak of the devil. So, ice cream?
We get a panel of the three of you in the Kirby craft flying up, and as you all pass the moon, it's like a really like actually kind of like lovely picture of the three of you silhouetted with Squire sitting like kind of next to you all, also silhouetted in the picture. And then flying above you, probably out of eyesight, we see the pterodactyl. There's one last panel in this comic. It's the MMM. You see the mobster you know it's the mobster because he's in a pinstripe suit, and one of his lobster claws is holding a cane, and he's walking very slowly, and we get the footsteps and the cane clicking along this long hallway. So we get this pretty long image of the probably 3 or 4 panels of just him walking, starting with just his shoe and getting further and further and further up until we get his entire back, and we see all of him. And then on the next page, it's a couple MMM workers, and they have a bunch of medical equipment. Not a lot of it, but the stuff they managed to steal. And they have what looks like an egg. And the mobster says, "Is it working?" One of the younger ones says, "Not yet, sir, but it will soon." And the mobster says, "Well, that's good."
Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Hugh, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear or at IcyNewYear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. They can be found at T-Huth Playwright on Twitter or T-Huth94 on Instagram. Cataclysm Crew is GM'd by TP Huth. Rascal King is played by me, Anthony Sheets. Machina is played by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yulin on Instagram. Etheril Moon is played by Zweifang. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music of this issue is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. We're also on Instagram at moonharborheroes. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.